Hey, it's Craig coming to you from my side yard right here. If you're watching this video, it is because Russ gave his consent for me to share this with you. And I'm so excited to share it with you because so many players have that experience and you've probably had this where you feel like the driving range is a waste of time. And I'll tell you, you're not crazy. The driving range really can be a little bit of a waste of time. And in this lesson, we are first going to take a look at Russ's swing here. Russ has been a member for a while, and he's working on what you probably need to work on, which is swinging more from the inside, learning how to make that effortless power forearm rollover release. So check out this swing analysis that I did for Russ and stick around because after this swing analysis, I'm going to come right back here and I'm going to give you a lesson that's going to help you just like it's going to help Russ solve this most common problem. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, enable those alerts. I'm always putting up this kind of information. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. And if you want to start with some free lessons, go to facefirstgolf.com. Now let's cut to that swing analysis with Russ. All right, Russ, thanks for sending in your swing. I am going to see if I can get your permission to use this on YouTube because so many players are struggling with this exact same issue that you're struggling with in your swing. What a beautiful setting, by the way, of a place to hit balls. So let me go ahead and draw this plane line up here at address. This is a line that goes through the butt end of the golf club up through your belt buckle here. And this is the plane line, which is the line that we want to see the club traveling on in the downswing. And what we can see here, see how over the top that swing is in the downswing here, right? So well above that plane line, that means it's an outside in downswing move. And you can see that club traveling left of target through impact. And then what you're going to see how quickly that club disappears right here. So right here, it starts to disappear behind your body. And then this leads to that chicken wing, which is the most common problem and issue that so many players have. Now, what I want to draw your attention to here, let me pull over your front view swing. And what we're going to notice is you've been a member of Face First Golf for a long time, and you can see here trying to get that strong grip. And look where that hand is right now. Do you see that V going towards that trail shoulder right here? So you've got that grip in that strong position like we like, but watch what happens. Let me just clear that line. Watch what happens right before you actually go to hit the shot, right there. See how that grip went from there, right there. You're in a pretty strong position. That strong grip's going to help you square up the club face. It's a closed face grip, right? But watch this right here. Boom, right there. The grip goes back into a pretty weak position. So let me pull up, I want to pull up something from the front view here that is going to explain, let me explain this grip a little bit more here. All right, so this is a nice close-up that you can see here. And we really want to get it in the fingers of that lead hand, not up in the palm. Okay, we want it more in the fingers, not up in the palm right here. When you get it in the palm, that turns in, that looks a lot like where your grip is right now. A little bit of that weak position with that V going up towards the chin right here, right? Instead of that V going more towards that trail shoulder. So we want to get it more out in the fingers. Right. Once we move it out in the fingers, now we're going to kind of wrap it around so that that thumb goes over onto the trail side of the grip right here. And I might be exaggerating it a little bit, but not much really. I mean, I play with a pretty darn strong grip. And what you will see when I do that is you're going to see a lot of cup in the back of that lead hand right there.
see how there's not very much angle right here, and your lead between your lead forearm and the back of that lead hand. So you've gone back to a little bit of a weaker grip. And of course, the reason that that's a problem is because that over the top downswing is just swinging your path over the top or left in order to compensate for a club face that you're struggling to square up at impact, right? So we've got to get that path coming more from the inside on the downswing so that you can swing more into out. So that's the problem with it. You're probably going back to that weak grip, because if you squared up the club face with that over the top downswing path, you would pull it. So you're starting to just kind of creep back to that weak grip in order to not pull it. But it's really the over the top downswing path that's causing the pull. So what I'd like to see is to go to that stronger grip. And let me pull up a swing here too, just to show you these side by side here, so you can see what I mean by that path coming more from the inside on the downswing right here, as opposed to that over the top move right there. So you can see where that club is. Let me forward this a little bit, coming down through or above the shoulder a little bit there, right? As opposed to coming down on that shallower angle. And we want to see it kind of through that trail forearm right here. And when you get to that same position, you can see how steep of a position that club is in. So, but it all starts with that grip. And then I'd like to see you work on swinging that path more from the inside on the downswing. And I'm going to shoot a little video here at my net, which isn't nearly as nice of an at-home hitting setup as what you have right here. But I'm going to shoot a little video here that's going to show you, and hopefully many others who watch this, exactly how to work on this most common, probably the most common problem that the vast majority of players struggle with. And you can see that little fade ball flight. You can see how it starts left, and then there you can see it start to fade, slice back to the right a little bit, as opposed to coming from the inside, getting the arms extended, and see how that toe of the club passes the heel of the club, and the club stays out in front of the body. That's going to result in that more of that draw type of ball flight that we're looking for, that can give you so much more effortless power, as opposed to over the top. Then holding that face open to make sure you don't pull it leads to the chicken wing. So it starts with the grip, get the strong grip to help you square up the club face. Then we've really got to work on getting that that feeling of kind of dropping it from the inside, and that feeling of that path going a little bit more out to right field, out to the right through impact. I'm going to shoot a little video here at the net that's going to show you, and hopefully many others, exactly how to do that.
All right, so what did we see there? We saw that grip, even before Russ started his swing, we saw it creeping back into a weak position, right? So I always talk about this. Do this right now. Put your hand in what's called a strong, should be called a closed face position. Move it over this way like I showed in that video. Roll it over, and you can feel how that club really wants to roll over. It's that club face that wants to roll over that enables you to swing from the inside with confidence that the club face is going to square up. If you have that weak grip that's going to lead to that open club face, you're always going to swing that path over the top left as a compensation for that open club face. So that's the first thing to really know about this. The next thing to know about this is that when you start to work on this, you are going to need to do it with small swings at slower speeds. Everybody needs to do this with small swings at slow speed. You cannot learn how to swing that path from the inside and make that effortless power forearm rollover release with full swings. Nobody can. I've been teaching this for well over 25 years, and I guarantee you've got to slow this stuff down. And if you've got a nice setup like Russ has there, where you can, not necessarily hitting balls onto the golf course, I recommend hitting balls into the net. Anybody can get this kind of little setup at home, but this is ideal because then you can remove that ball flight from the equation. You can really slow it down. You can make those repetitions. You can practice for 10 minutes a day at home instead of these longer ball beating sessions at the range that really don't ingrain any skills, because you hit 200 balls, you have 7 different swing thoughts, and you leave more confused than ever. It sounds strange at first when I say this, but if you can remove the ball flight from your practice, that allows you to really slow it down, chunk it down, work on the pieces, work on quality reps over quantity of reps. And here's how we do it. So the first thing, of course, is always to set that face square and take that good strong grip. Don't let it creep back before you start your swing. That's going to give you the confidence that the club face is going to square up at impact. It's that confidence that the club face is going to square up that allows you to swing that path from the inside on the downswing. So usually I recommend starting with something like 1/8 length, 1/8 speed swings. And here's what that looks like. I'm going good, strong grip here. I'm just going here, and I'm trying to swing that path from in to out. Great idea to throw down something like an alignment stick. You've probably seen this in my videos, but throw down an alignment stick at an angle out to the right for a right-handed player, to the left for a left-handed player, and just try to feel like you trace that on the downswing here with a little 1/8 length, 1/8 speed, okay? And then we just go 1/8 length, 1/8 speed, 1/8, 1/8. And record that swing and see if with that slow of a swing, and most players, when you start to work on it with that small and slow of a swing, most players can get that club path coming from the inside. Most players can start to feel that effortless power forearm rollover release, where the toe of the club passes the heel of the club and the arms get extended, as opposed to that over the top chicken wing like we saw with Russ and like so many of you struggle with. So starting with 1/8, 1/8, record it. See if you can do it that slow. Most players can right away. Then you move it to 1/4, 1/4. 1/4 length, 1/4 speed. And by the way, you'll always go faster and longer than what it feels like, right? These are just kind of mental cues. You always go faster and longer than what it feels like. So now this is going to feel like 1/4, 1/4. Now I'm starting to get that little bit more speed to it. Record that. Look at yourself. Now, there's going to come a point. Now we're going to go half-half, right? Half length, half speed. And usually somewhere between, here's half. That's starting to feel like half speed, half length. Usually somewhere between half speed, half length, and 3/4 speed, 3/4 length is usually where most players start to really struggle with that over the top swing creeping back in there. Okay. So, and then that's where you want to do all of your work, because now your task becomes, okay, I can do it half-half. Now my task becomes to be able to do it 3/4, 3/4. That's how you can really use video effectively. Most people are using it to look at the swing, try to pick out a bunch of things, try to work on a bunch of things. No, just use it to slow it down, chunk it down, work on one little piece. For the vast majority of you, that one little piece is swinging from the inside and starting to really learn that effortless power forearm rollover release. One other thing that I should mention before I wrap up here is that you should always make 2 practice swings before you hit a ball, even when you're going at these slower speed swings, okay? And the reason for that is we really want to just trace this path line right here, trace it and swing from the inside, trace it and swing from the inside. 2 of those, then go ahead and hit one. Trace it, then go ahead and hit one. Keep going back to tracing that at least twice between each swing with those little rehearsal swings. Otherwise, if you just hit ball after ball after ball, you tend to creep back to your old habits really quickly. So that's how you work on this. I'm going to wrap this up. And again, follow along here. Hit like hit subscribe, enable those alerts. If you like this kind of stuff, I'm always putting out this kind of information. I guarantee you it is targeting the root cause of the problems that the vast, vast majority of players have. And if you want to get started with some free lessons, go to facefirstgolf.com. So I hope that helps you understand how to work on this most common problem and why you're not crazy. The driving range really can be a waste of time. This is where you do the skill building and how you really start to learn to swing from the inside and make that effortless power forearm rollover release.